Okay, so the first video that I want to check out today is this one right here on Ashes of Creation, and it's 15 things I wish I knew before starting. So for anybody who is either really early in their gameplay of Ashes of Creation, or anybody who's considering trying it out, or anybody who's about to try it out as well, this could maybe be helpful. Let's check it out and see what he has to say.
Hey guys, in this video I want to share with you the top 15 things I wish
I will say I've been playing Ashes quite a little bit myself, both on stream and off stream, so if I have anything to add in during this session as well, I will of course add it. We'll just see what he has to say, and I will add my own experience on top as well.
I would have known before leveling a character in Ashes of Creation. This game is pretty infamous for wasting your time in a lot of ways, and there's a lot of lessons that you end up learning the hard way, so I hope this video helps save both new and experienced players out there from some of the frustrations that I personally experienced in the first 50 hours playing the game. Number 1. Before you go out into the world to gather crafting materials, always check the gathering commission
Cheers,
board
by
in
the
a
way.
nearby city. These commission boards are always placed by a town's marketplace and will often include several quests related to the materials you were already planning to harvest anyway. And these are going to provide a good amount of XP and glint early on, and they'll help you speed level while you gather the materials that, again, you were probably going to harvest anyway. Number 2. Around the map you will find Ember Springs, which you
So for those boards, is there a minimum level requirement to find those boards? Because honestly, I have not done any of those commission boards yet. So you just you go to the town.
always check the gathering commission board in a nearby city. These commission boards are
So it basically looks like this. You can go and check out one of these things, and then you can get more experience. Because for me, I've just been farming. I've been doing quests, I've been farming mobs, I've been gathering. I have not done any commission stuff yet.
Number 2. Around the map you will find Ember Springs, which you can attune to, and these act as an optional waypoint to respawn at when you die. But since the game has no fast travel and the map is quite large, at some point you're likely going to choose to purposefully kill your character in order to quickly return to your home point. While this is definitely not a bad idea if you don't mind losing a little bit of XP, you should know that there is a 2-hour cooldown for this respawn, so don't make the same mistake that I did and try to use this fast travel hack several times in the span of an hour, otherwise you will accrue XP debt for pretty much no reason. Number 3. As you kill enemies in the world, you will loot a lot of glint, which is usually either sold at a vendor for some easy silver or used to craft crates. But one thing the game doesn't tell you is that when you become a citizen of a town at level 10, you will have to pay taxes every 14 days using this glint. And the amount required to pay your taxes can literally be hundreds or even thousands of glint. And if you hastily sell all of yours to a vendor to make some quick silver, then you'll end up having to grind mobs for a few hours every time tax season comes around. So for this reason, I recommend saving a good amount of your glint in storage instead of just selling it all immediately. Number 4. Crates are a gameplay system where you collect resources, pack them into a crate, and haul them long distances to earn gold. And most new players are going to use the market commodity crate station near the marketplace in cities for this, but this requires a lot of glint to craft each crate. So instead, I recommend that you head to the town's mayoral hall and use the citizen commodity station, which will allow you to craft the exact same crates but using scrip instead. And this is a different currency than glint that you earn by turning in construction crates and requisition orders. So generally it can be much easier and much quicker to obtain than glint. Number 5. When running crates, new players often use shift left mouse button on the crates that are equipped on their player to open up a UI menu that tells you how much you can expect to.
Honestly, I like the crate system they have right now in the game. The only thing to me is I think the whole caravan system is a little bit too punishing. The way that it's been so far, right, you have to craft a caravan or make a caravan, and if somebody PvPs you while you're on the caravan and they decide to kill the caravan, you've basically wasted a lot of time and resources. I feel like the game is a little bit too punishing compared to how it is rewarding. It feels like the reward is escaping the punishment, and they're focusing way too hard on just punishing you for making a mistake. And sometimes you don't want to be punished for every single mistake you make in the game. I don't know. The feedback loop of the game is way too heavily focused on the punishments and not focused enough on, well, the rewards you're getting. when playing the game. That being said, I like what they're doing when it comes to certain reagents only being found in certain zones, or certain, let's call it regions of the game as well, right? And then you have to carry materials from point A to point B, because it has more value in point B, because it can only be found in point A, but you need it in point B as well, if that makes sense. Imagine like a herb that only grew in Elven Forest, but people in Mullegård need that herb as well, and the only way for them to get the herb would be somebody brings it from Elwyn to Mullegård. Suddenly there's a lot of value in somebody bringing those things from point A to point B. It kinda reminds me of the trade run system in Arcade, which makes sense, the game is heavily inspired by Arcade, but it's different than just the trade run system at the same time.
Earn for each node you sell them at. And what you need to know is that this UI does not work and is almost never accurate. Very often you will earn significantly less than is advertised on this UI, sometimes as low as a fifth of what you actually expected. And this is due to diminishing returns from other players spamming nodes with lots of crates. So for this reason, you should never rely on this UI element to calculate profit. But unfortunately, there really is no other way in the game to figure out how much your crates are truly worth, so your best bet is pretty much just to travel to less popular nodes and hope that you make a good amount. Number 6. Another problem with the crate UI is that it will list nodes to sell crates at that actually do not have a vendor available, and this will often lead to players such as myself walking long distances to settlements like Tangled Post, thinking that they can make a ton of gold, only to realize that they've wasted all of their time. And this is because you can only sell crates at rank 3 and above towns, as these towns have a marketplace available. So be sure to always check on the map that the town that you're planning to head to is rank 3 or above before making the journey, just to make sure that you're not wasting your time. Number 7. When one of your gathering professions reaches level 10 or above, you can promote the skill from novice to apprentice at a corresponding skill trainer in Briarmore Farms or.
But you can only do this on X amount of professions, right? Because I have not been interacting that much with the professional system yet in Ashes of Creation, but once again, it's somewhat inspired by Arcade, and based on that, I assume you can learn every profession in Ashes of Creation, but you can only master a certain amount of them. So every time you go from novice to, master and expert and whatever is next, you can only, master so many of them, right? So I don't think you can upgrade all of them, but maybe I'm wrong, or he's gonna cover it.
Or city that has that trainer, and this will allow you to harvest more rare specialty materials. But what the game doesn't tell you is that you also need to have an upgraded gathering tool as well as this upgraded promotional skill in order to actually harvest any of the specialty resources that unlock for you. And these apprentice tools can actually only be crafted.
This is kind of cool though, because if the game told you, when a game doesn't tell you, you have to figure out things yourself, which creates a mystery and a loop of people just finding out things naturally, and then it travels by word of mouth, right? Instead of the game hand-holding you, telling you everything. I like mysteries like this, where you have to find things out for yourself and quickly the word is going to travel. I mean, we live in 2026, so when information is found, it's going to travel really fast through YouTube videos, guides, news articles, you name it, right? But still, I do like that there's some level of mystery and people just finding things out about the game the more they play.
Buy apprentice weaponsmiths. So your best bet is pretty much just to buy them off the marketplace instead of trying to make them yourself, unless you are planning to level weaponsmithing anyway. Number 8. When promoting your professions to apprentice and beyond, it's important to keep in mind that you can only have a maximum of 5 skills upgraded beyond the base novice level at a time.
Yeah.
And this is not something that the game really tells you, so you have to be sure to plan out what skills you want to prioritize instead of trying to level all of them, because you'll be disappointed when you can't upgrade past 5 of them. If you don't, you'll likely have to make a long trip back to Briarmore Farms to demote any existing skills in order to promote the ones that you actually wanted to level. Number 9. Fishing is considered by a lot of players to be an AFK skill because it has no interactive components, so a lot of players will often leave their character fishing while they're away from.
I absolutely hate this, by the way. Based on both streams that I've been seeing, videos that I've been seeing, and my own gameplay, they introduced sport fishing, which it's called the same thing in Arcade Sport Fishing, and it's almost like they learned nothing from having played Arcade, because Steven has played Arcade, we already know this, and it's where he draws massive inspiration for the game from as well. Sport fishing, there was so many bots interacting with it, and now we have it in Ashes of Creation, where basically, by the way, you can AFK fish, where the game just does everything for you. In today's day and age, where there's so many bots, what on earth makes you make one of these systems that is literally AFKable? People can AFK and farm fish. How do we think this is gonna go? Of course, bots are going to take advantage of this. When you play Ashes right now as well, you will find like, what, 100 bots that are very obviously botting fishing. They are jumping every now and then in set intervals to like not get reported and not get banned for like, or not get flagged for being AFK and then logged out automatically. So if you go to one of these locations, you can find them all jumping at the exact same moment and then going back into fishing and being AFK. And it's the most obvious bot pattern ever.
Their computer for something like a bathroom break. But what you'll discover is that if your character does not move around for around 10 minutes, you will be automatically logged out of the game. So if you're planning to leave your character AFK fishing for a long time while you say go out to lunch or dinner with friends, be sure to actually check back periodically and click on a few buttons on your keyboard to reset this logout timer, or just don't do it at all. Number 10. Over time, your tools, armor, and weapons are all going to lose durability until they eventually break completely. At this point, they are completely unusable and must be repaired at a vendor in order for them to actually be used again. To do this, simply interact with any vendor and click the repair icon in the bottom left corner. And this can cost a lot of silver, so you want to make sure you always have some on hand in case this happens while you're out in the world. Otherwise, you might be stuck having to sell stuff that you didn't want to sell. Number 11. In the event that you choose to leave your existing guild, the game is actually going to force you into a 5-day cooldown before you can join another one. And this is intended to prevent guild hopping, but it can be really frustrating to new players that are trying to leave, say, a dead leveling guild that no longer is really playing the game, and instead end up getting punished for doing so. So if you plan on joining a new guild anytime soon, or are unhappy with your current guild, be sure to leave your old guild earlier rather than later so that this long cooldown doesn't negatively affect your plans in the future. Number 12. If you decide to run crates, always try to team up with a group of players instead of running them solo. If you're on your own, there's a high chance that you're going to get attacked by high-level players, as you see happening to me in this video, and you'll quickly get gunned down. They'll steal all of your crates, especially the rare ones that you worked very hard to craft. And this can be, of course, very devastating to new players who are trying to earn a little bit of silver and spent most of their resources to make these crates. So definitely make sure you group up with at least a group of 3 or 4 other players just to increase your chances of surviving an attack, or at the very least to deter 1 or 2 other players from attacking you in the first place. Number 13. In every town, you're going to find a storage clerk that allows you to store your materials. And what the game doesn't tell you is that the storage system is specific to each town, and it's not global. So this means that you're only going to be able to access resources that you stored in, say, the town of Miraleth, if you are actively talking to the storage clerk in the town of Miraleth. So you have to keep this in mind before leaving important materials behind. Otherwise, you might, say, have some really great rare materials in a town that is several hours away from where you currently are. Number 14. At level 10, the marketplace is going to become available to you, allowing you to buy and sell resources. And if you list anything on the marketplace that does end up selling, you're not going to receive the payment automatically. Instead, it's going to be sent to you through the mail system. So you can access it at a mailbox, which is this box that you see on screen now, near the storage clerk. There's going to be an icon also in the top right corner that tells you whenever you have pending mail, so you can use that as a way to figure out if your products have sold. Also, I think it's important to keep in mind that regardless of what node you actually sold your items at, since each node has its own marketplace, you will always be able to receive your payment from any mailbox in any node. Number 15, Burger King foot lettuce. No, just kidding.
Dude, all of these tips so far, by the way, are absolutely great, and they're honestly showing me how big of a scope the game actually has. Because I feel like the game gets a lot of critique for not being finished and not being, well, there just not being enough content in the game, and I feel like most people just don't interact with most of the content the game has to offer. Like, many people that are saying that it doesn't have any content is usually World of Warcraft players like myself that is used to having a certain quest line to follow from start to finish, which is not what Ashes has, and nor will it very likely ever have. It's just more of a different sort of a game, more sandboxy, more open world. You just go out and explore things, either farm mobs or do quests, but it's way less of like having one set quest line to follow. You go, you look for like a camp, you look for an encampment, you help those NPCs out with certain quests, and then you move on to the next encampment that you have to find for yourself, and then you can help those out as well. And on the way, you can gather materials, you can suddenly do a trade run, or I guess a, yeah, you know, basically a trade run, or you can do PvP. Basically everything you're doing, even crafting as well, everything gives you experience. Or you can find a town with a commission board on it, fulfill whatever the commission board is asking you, whether it's gathering or crafting, get more experience that way. I honestly feel like the game is in a pretty good state at the moment, and I mean, for being Alpha 2 Early Access, that's really good. The only thing that irks me about that is the length of development so far. I feel like, and I'm just gonna say, I have no, like, somebody would have to fact check me here, but I feel like the game was meant to come out way earlier. Like 2021, 2022, and then it's just been postponed, and right now the main critic is that the game will never release due to the development scope. And honestly, I can't say anything against that, because it's been in development for far too long, especially considering what they have been promising from the start. And the way they have been monetizing as well is also one way that has been critiqued as well. But after having played Early Access, I am positively surprised.
Last but not least, if you're planning to run crates between disparate regions, like the Riverlands and the Sandskull Desert, for example, you should be aware that you can only craft.
All of that being said, though, just in case somebody calls me a paid shill for saying that, I'm gonna say don't buy the game at the moment. It's still in early access, and it's in alpha. You are basically buying in to test the game. If you don't want to buy in to test the game, don't buy it. Wait until it comes out, and see if it comes out, and if it's in a good state. Don't buy it, okay? There we go. Unpaid shill.
Craft crates using materials from that region. So if you bring, for example, materials from the Riverlands all the way to the desert, hoping that you can then craft more crates to bring back home with you to do a sort of like double crate route, you will be unable to do so. And instead, you'll have to farm an entirely new set of wood, stone, and fish in that region. So for this reason, if you are planning to run crates between node cities, I recommend staying within the region that you're actually in, unless you absolutely need to. Alright, that is all the tips I have for you so far. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these save you a little bit of time in game and help you avoid some of the frustrations that I personally dealt with. Be sure to like this video if you found it helpful, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more Ashes of Creation content.
There we go. Yeah. I don't really have much to add, by the way. The only thing I would add when it comes to leveling is find a way of leveling that suits you based on how you want to play the game, because just about everything you're doing will give you experience. If you've played Guild Wars, it's very similar to that, where you can grind mobs, you can do quests, you can do events, you can gather, you can craft, you can do just about everything and gain experience from it. If you like gathering and crafting, go to a town, find a commission board, and look at the commissions, basically the quests on the commission board, and do what they tell you. So you can go out and craft, you can go out and gather stuff, and hand those in and get experience by doing that. And if you like mob grinding, well, go ahead and mob grind, either solo or find a group and mob grind. Honestly, that is probably the best way to get experience anyway, so mob grinding is insane. But I like that you don't have to mob grind. The only thing I don't like, and that is because of my head and the way it's been wired to work based on having played WoW for so long, is that I don't have a certain quest line to follow from start to finish. Because having played WoW, I'm spoiled. When it comes to leveling in WoW, you always have an objective. You're never hit with this moment of where do I go and what do I do. You're always told what to do. This game might not be that way. We'll see how it is at launch, if they actually make a set storyline from start to finish, but I don't think they will. If anything, they might add more quests than we currently have in early access, but I don't think we'll ever have like one main story quest line. I don't know though, we'll see. I think it's more of a open world game where there's going to be certain encampments where you have the quests that you can like help those NPCs in that place and either build their encampment, help them fight off mobs. It's going to make sense, but I don't think it's going to be like one main story quest line.